In the heart of this peaceful neighborhood, a love story blossomed, filled with dreams, joy, and promises of forever. Meet Laura and Mark, two souls who found each other amidst the chaos of college life, their hearts intertwined with hope and ambition. They built a life together, filled with love, laughter, and the thrill of new beginnings. But as the years passed, the pressures of life began to take their toll. Distance grew, arguments erupted, and the once vibrant spark of their relationship started to fade. Facing a storm both outside and within, Laura made a heart-wrenching decision that would change their lives forever. This is the story of their journey through love and loss, and the painful yet hopeful road to finding themselves again. Stay tuned to discover the profound lessons from Laura and Mark's journey, and how they transformed their pain into a new beginning. The campus of Evergreen University buzzed with life as the fall semester kicked into full swing. It was during one of the university's many cultural events, a poetry reading hosted in a cozy corner of the library, that Laura and Mark's paths first crossed. Laura, a literature major, had always found solace in the written word. Mark, on the other hand, was knee-deep in the rigorous world of engineering. Despite their contrasting fields, they shared a love for stories, both told and untold. Laura had been anxiously waiting for her turn to read. She clutched a worn notebook filled with her poems, each one a fragment of her soul. As she stepped onto the small stage, she caught sight of Mark seated at the back, his eyes curious, yet kind. She began reading, her voice soft yet steady, filling the room with imagery and emotion. When she finished, the applause was warm, but it was the quiet appreciation in Mark's eyes that lingered with her. After the event, Mark approached her, introducing himself with a charming smile. They talked about her poetry, his projects, and their mutual love for storytelling. The conversation flowed effortlessly, and before they knew it, hours had passed. That night marked the beginning of a relationship that would span many years, filled with joy, challenges, and ultimately, heartache. Graduation came quickly, and with it, the daunting prospect of starting their lives outside the protective bubble of university life. Mark secured a position at a prestigious engineering firm, while Laura took on various freelance writing jobs, hoping to build a portfolio that would lead to a full-time career. They moved into a small but cozy apartment in the city, filled with second-hand furniture and the boundless energy of young love. Their early days were filled with long walks in the park, late-night conversations, and dreams about the future. They talked about traveling the world, starting a family, and supporting each other's ambitions. Mark's job was demanding from the start. He often came home late, exhausted, but enthusiastic about the challenges he faced. Laura, meanwhile, juggled multiple writing gigs, from editing articles to crafting short stories. Despite their busy schedules, they made time for each other, understanding that their love was the foundation upon which they were building their lives. As the years passed, the pressures of life began to mount. Mark's career took off, bringing with it longer hours and increased responsibilities. He was promoted several times, each new position more demanding than the last. Laura, too, saw success in her writing career, with her first book being published to moderate acclaim. Yet, as their professional lives flourished, their personal lives began to fray at the edges. The long hours Mark spent at work left Laura feeling increasingly isolated. She missed the days when they would spend hours talking about their dreams and fears. Now, it seemed their conversations were limited to mundane topics like bills and household chores. Laura tried to fill the void by immersing herself in her writing, but the loneliness persisted. Mark, on the other hand, felt unappreciated. He was working tirelessly to provide for their future, but it seemed Laura no longer saw his effort. Their once vibrant relationship was now strained, with arguments becoming a regular occurrence. Love that had once been their anchor now felt like a distant memory. The turning point came one stormy night. Mark had called to say he would be late again. Laura, frustrated and feeling neglected, decided to go out for a walk despite the pouring rain. She ended up at the small park where they had shared their first kiss, the memories of happier times flooding her mind. As she sat on the bench, soaked to the bone, Laura realized that something had to change. She couldn't continue living in the shadow of a broken marriage. When she returned home, she found Mark waiting for her, drenched and worried. They had a heated argument, with years of pent-up frustration spilling over. For the first time, the word divorce was spoken, hanging heavy in the air between them. The days that followed were filled with silence. Both knew that their marriage was in serious trouble, but neither knew how to fix it. They attended counselling sessions, hoping to rekindle the spark that had once brought them together. But the sessions only highlighted how far apart they had grown. One morning, as Laura was going through old photographs, she stumbled upon a picture from their honeymoon. They were standing on a beach, arms around each other, faces lit up with pure happiness. The sight of their younger selves, so full of love and hope, brought tears to her eyes. She realized that those two people no longer existed. That night, Laura contacted a lawyer. The decision to file for divorce was not easy, but it was necessary. She knew that staying in a loveless marriage would only bring more pain to both of them. When she finally told Mark, he was surprisingly understanding. They agreed to part ways amicably, both recognizing that their marriage had run its course. The process of divorce was painful and filled with moments of doubt. They divided their assets, sold the house, and decided on joint custody of their beloved dog, Max. Friends and family were shocked, having always seen them as the perfect couple. But those closest to them knew that the decision was for the best. Laura moved into a small apartment, focusing on her writing to cope with the loneliness. Mark too threw himself into his work, trying to find solace in the one constant in his life. They maintained a civil relationship, often meeting to discuss matters related to Max, or to tie up loose ends from their marriage. As the final papers were signed, Laura felt a mix of sadness and relief. The chapter of her life with Mark was closing, but a new one was beginning. She took a deep breath and looked out the window, the last rays of sunlight painting the sky in hues of orange and pink. It was a bittersweet ending, but also a hopeful beginning. Laura started attending a local writers' group, finding comfort in the company of fellow creatives. She poured her heart into her writing, channeling her pain and hope into stories that resonated with others. Her second book was published to critical acclaim, and she began to carve out a name for herself in the literary world. Mark, too, found a new beginning. He transferred to a different division within his company, one that allowed for a better work-life balance. He started volunteering at a local youth centre, mentoring young aspiring engineers. The experience brought him a sense of fulfillment that had been missing for years. Over time, Laura and Mark found peace with their decision. They realised that their marriage, though it had ended, was not a failure. It had been a significant part of their lives, shaping them into the people they had become. They remained friends, occasionally meeting for coffee and reminiscing about the good times they had shared. Laura eventually met someone new, a fellow writer who understood her in ways Mark never could. Their relationship was different, built on mutual respect and shared passions. Mark, too, found love again with a colleague who shared his interests and appreciated his dedication. Years passed, and Laura and Mark's lives continued to evolve. They attended each other's weddings, genuinely happy for the other's newfound happiness. They remained in each other's lives, not as lovers, but as friends who had once shared something special. Their story was not one of failure, but of growth. They had loved deeply, faced challenges, and ultimately found the strength to move on. Their journey taught them the importance of communication, respect, and the courage to make difficult decisions. As Laura looked back on her life, she realised that every experience, both good and bad, had led her to where she was now. Her marriage to Mark had been a beautiful chapter, filled with love and lesson that had shaped her into the person she had become. She often thought of that stormy night in the park, the moment she realised she had to change her life. It was a turning point, a painful yet necessary step towards finding herself. And though the journey had been difficult, it had ultimately led her to a place of peace and fulfillment. Mark, too, reflected on his journey. He had learned to balance his professional ambitions with personal happiness, finding a deeper sense of purpose in his work and relationship. He cherished the friendship he still shared with Laura, a testament to the enduring bond they had forged. Laura and Mark's story became a source of inspiration for others facing similar challenges. They often spoke about their experiences at local events, emphasizing the importance of self-awareness, communication, and the courage to pursue happiness. Their journey was a reminder that life is not always a straight path. There are twists and turns, moments of joy and sorrow, but each step is a part of the journey. Laura continued to write, her stories touching the lives of many, while Mark's mentorship helped countless young engineers find their path. As Laura sat by the window of her new home, watching the sunset, she felt a profound sense of gratitude. Her life had been a tapestry of experiences, each thread contributing to the rich fabric of her story. She knew that there would be more challenges ahead, but she was ready to face them with the strength she had gained from her journey. Through the trials and tribulations, Laura and Mark found peace and fulfillment. Their story is a testament to the resilience of the human spirit. From heartbreak to new beginnings, their journey continues to inspire and teach us the power of growth and self-discovery. Thank you for joining us on this emotional journey. Remember, every ending is a new beginning. Subscribe for more inspiring stories, like, comment, and share to spread hope.